The American Veterinary Medical Association calculates that there are 85 million households in the United States where at least one pet lives. A large number of these pets will spend at least a few days in a shelter throughout their lives. Our story begins by looking at data from the Austin Animal Care Center, which contains 120,000 records of animals' arrivals and departures between 2014 and 2021. Our project comes in the form of a click-through data storytelling, which you can navigate with arrows on the keyboard. We start by looking at how many animals we have and separate them between cats and dogs. We want to see how they came in the shelter. They were either found or surrendered by their owners. Looking at the timestamps of arrival throughout the years, we saw that there is a fairly similar pattern that repeats every year. Admissions are the lowest in the winter months, and then they start rising throughout the spring to peak in May, and then come down again throughout autumn. Contrary to our initial hypothesis, this trend wasn't heightened by the pandemic, but quite the opposite. Less animals were coming in the shelter the year the pandemic hit, and admissions hit an all-time low when the US went into lockdown. The trend hasn't returned, which hopefully means more animals are staying in their homes. In the viz, you can also see how animals leave the shelter. They do it in 4 main ways. The most prominent, adoption, followed by transferring to a different shelter, returning to their owners, and the least, being euthanized. As we narrow down our focus into the adoptions, we progressively excluded data points from our dataset to maintain a visual comparison between the admission types and the adoptions themselves. We also looked at the ages of animals leaving the shelter compared to their age when they were admitted. As you can see, for both cats and dogs, the pattern is a little different. More cats are adopted at the 3-month mark, whereas dogs is more 1 year and 2-year-olds. Throughout the viz, we highlight the cases of individual animals. Each animal's story is unique. To drive this point home, our last view showcases the story of Harley, a newborn Australian cattle dog that is admitted in the shelter, and we can see her comings and goings as she tries her chances through different adoptive families. Her story has a happy ending as she finally arrives at her last home. Like Harley, many animals have similar stories. Some are a little happier, some are a little sadder. But what we wanted to showcase throughout this project is that, contrary to popular belief, most animals in our dataset did find a happy home. If you want to view the story in your own time and with your own pause, scan this QR code. Thanks for watching.